Hey, and welcome back to the PCC podcast. And today I'm going to be covering really quickly just a 3-step process that we use at PCC to help our clients accelerate their metabolism for elevated energy and effortless fat loss. So if that sounds a little bit too good to be true, listen in, because this is for you if you feel like no matter how much you track your calories or eat clean or work out, your body just refuses to change and you wake up bloated, exhausted, you have brain fog that just lasts all day and no amount of coffee fixes it, no matter how much sleep you get. Or your weight fluctuates all around, up and down, and you feel like if you just take one day off of being perfect with your diet, you're not micromanaging every little thing in your diet, that it can set you off for weeks. And if you definitely have been to your doctor and they say everything looks normal, but you know something's off, this is definitely for you. And you're not alone. I mean, this was my journey. This was me. This was when I was going through this in 2024, this past year. And it's honestly been a bunch of our clients. So if you are struggling with any of these things, this 3-step process could really help you. But before I get into that, just a little bit of background. If you're new to the podcast or you haven't really known about me or my background before, I am Marissa, the owner and founder of Permanent Change Coaching, where we have holistic, integrative protocols to help our clients lose weight once and for all. And we've worked with over 1,200 women to get them off of the dieting hamster wheel, heal their hormones, and really just lose fat for the last time. And I have my background in neuroscience first, which is such a blessing that I'm so glad that I did that, because it really helps with the behavior change side of things. But then I also have my functional nutrition and metabolism specialization, and I have actually studied female hormone health for a number of years, and part of that in a lab for grad school. So I have all that. I have all the letters and numbers and things like that, but the reality is that this became real for me when I lived through this past year, and I was kind of shy about sharing it on social media, sharing it on the podcast, because I was handling it case by case with clients. But then when I went through it and I started sharing about this on social media, literally the feedback was overwhelming. So many women are burnt out, are exhausted, and are thinking that that's normal. And so when you are training hard, eating right, and you're still gaining weight instead of losing it, your missing piece is most likely metabolic health and hormonal optimization. And so this 3-step process is going to explain exactly how you can go about these 3 steps yourself and make sure that you're not missing any steps along the way. So step 1 is building your foundation. So before you optimize anything, you need to fix the basics, right? Most people jump right into optimizing supplements, crazy protocols that they're never going to be able to stick to. And that's why we get overwhelmed. That's why we quit before we get anywhere. That's why we can't even stick to it in the first place. So the basics are, most women are unknowingly undereating either total calories or the amount of nutrients that they need in their diet. Most likely are either overtraining or training the wrong way, or just overstressing their bodies from life stress and stress in general. And that's what's leading to metabolic slowdown, where your metabolism is slower, you're losing muscle mass, and your body is stressed the F out. And so what we need to do is we need to replenish what's missing. We need to balance out our food by eating more instead of less, and eating more of the right nutrients, getting the right amount of movement and the right intensity of movement, and reducing overall stress. If we don't have this foundation, you know the quote, a house built on a shaky foundation will not stand. And so when we get into the next steps, we're not going to be able to see the kinds of results that we want and that our clients see if we don't do the foundation first. So take the basics seriously. This is going to be our nutrition, making sure we are fueling up our metabolism, getting it working for us instead of against us. This is going to be strength training instead of cardio. Ditching cardio altogether and putting all your eggs in that basket of lifting weights and getting stronger with progressive overload. Getting as close to 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night as you can, drinking half your body weight in ounces of water, and getting 7,000 or so or more steps per day. That is the basics. That is it. If you're doing those things, a lot of problems start to self-correct. But then you might still have some symptoms left over, like heavy cycles, irregular cycles, acne around your face, bloating, puffiness in the face, stomach fat specifically that seems to just stick to that one area, or just really, really low energy and brain fog. So with those symptoms, you're going to want to test based on the appropriate symptoms. And don't guess what your issue is and look online and try to self-diagnose. That is how you throw random supplements, a lot of money and a lot of time at the wrong problem, and you end up spinning your wheels. So this is where we want to go into some functional testing more than likely, because the blood work from our doctor often isn't enough. And you can actually look at my Instagram profile, and next week's podcast is going to dive into why that is and why your blood work is most likely not comprehensive from your doctor. If you have gone and felt like you didn't really get any answers, I'll explain all of that in the next episode. But we can use functional testing, that we can order any blood work, any functional testing through a third party that's oftentimes more inexpensive than what you would get by going through your insurance and paying the remainder out of pocket. And these are things like Dutch tests, GI maps, thyroid panels, full thyroid panels to find the real issue, and making sure that we are getting all of the information that we need. From there, we interpret and then personalize all of this data to create custom strategies to fix the imbalances, the gut health issues, the metabolic dysfunction, the hormonal dysregulation, the elevated cortisol, whatever it is at the root. This could mean things like adjusting your nutrition, adding the right supplements, adding the right foods, or tweaking your workouts or your lifestyle or your step goal or your stress management habits based on your body's actual needs. And the result of that is you're not guessing, you're targeting the right things, and you actually see the cause and effect, and you see fat loss happen in a way that lasts because you tackled the root. You didn't skip around, you didn't guess, you didn't throw random supplements at it, and you didn't have to diet like crazy, starve yourself, do a ton of cardio, or put your metabolism into a place where it's worse off. So those are the 3 steps. You can absolutely go through those 3 steps on your own. And I have free resources that walk you through those 3 steps and everything that I just said on this podcast to walk you through it. But if this episode really resonated with you and you're like, damn, that's a lot to manage, that's why we have a business all around this, and we help our clients to not just take these 3 steps, but do it in a way that feels manageable. We work it into your life, and we make sure that it's custom so you're not facing resistance every step of the way, so you break free from this cycle of burnout and frustration. So on this podcast, I'm going to be offering a free consultation for a one-on-one metabolism audit call. If you jump on a call from this podcast specifically, episode number 72, I believe it is, you have to mention it on the call. But if you do, then we will not only analyze your symptoms and your lifestyle, identify the possible metabolic roadblocks, and give you a clear roadmap to optimize your hormones and your fat loss. But if you decide to move forward with us from that call, from this episode, we will actually cover your first lab test within the price of the program. So $300 worth of lab testing based on whatever we identify as the issue, we'll cover it for you. So you don't even have to pay that out of pocket. You just get to work with us and have everything included. So that being said, these spots are going to be limited because the podcast is something that will be, long-standing. So we want to make sure that we offer this to the right people. So make sure to fill out the link in the podcast description to make sure that you book a call with us and that you get on our calendars, and make sure to mention episode 72 and the special that we offered there in order to redeem that, and we will honor it for you. So that is that. I hope that this episode helped you. If those 3 steps were insightful, please let us know, and we'll see you back here for next week, where I'll go over functional versus Western medicine.